Dan Wetzel is a national columnist for Yahoo.com. The story of the day is the NCAA will allow the free market to operate. Athletes can cash in on their name, image, and likeness. He wrote about it for Yahoo, and I have a million questions. Danny!
Berno, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. So you have been writing about money in college athletics for the better part of 20 years. Yeah, forever.
Can't believe it. It actually happened.
You know, I had Sonny Vaccaro on yesterday, 80 years old now, mutual friend of ours, and you know, he said, I believe in Dan Walken's article, the last line of the article is what got me. He said, "This is one of the happiest days of my life."
Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's been fighting for this for a long time. I think what the big thing is okay, explain, if you will, to start this conversation, what happened yesterday?
Okay, so they have a thing called the Board of Governors, which approved a plan that was submitted to them by another working group, or, I don't know. Things are confusing. But basically by the Board of Governors saying athletes should be able to profit off their name, image, and likeness, and should not be restricted from doing business. And this is going to happen. Will go in front of there's still one more vote to go, but they should pretty much do it. So that means if this will start in 2021. If this had been enacted this year, a guy like James Wiseman could have not just attended Memphis to play basketball, but could have signed a deal to be what's their longtime sponsor, Lexus of Memphis.
Yep.
He could be the James Wiseman is he could have an autograph signing down at the Lexus of Memphis dealer, and people would go down there to sign an autograph, and they come in and maybe they buy a car, or he can be on billboards, they buy a Lexus, or he can do all sorts of different things. He can have a social media account, which I'm sure was big. I know I didn't follow him, and hawk whatever he wants on there. He can sell T-shirts of his own. He can get sponsored by Nike. All the things that his fame and his talent allow, he could get. Obviously, he was not allowed to do any of that stuff, and it's part of the reason why, he needs money for moving and all this, and he's out. So all of that would have allowed a guy like James Wiseman to make money, and that's what will be allowed going forward, that I think a lot of us have been arguing should have been allowed anyway. This isn't the schools paying the players. It's the schools saying no one else can pay the players. And that's the big thing. Not every kid is going to get money. The same way every single woman on the United States gymnastics team is not a millionaire, but Simone Biles is. And that's just the way it works. So the better player, now this could be, obviously it's going to be football and men's basketball in a lot of places. But, there's the great star player women's player up at Oregon, or a women's basketball player at UConn or something. It could be a wrestler at Iowa State. It could be a skier at Colorado. It could be a women's hockey goalie at the Minnesota Duluth. It could be anything. So if you have value, you can now do that. Also, sometimes you have entrepreneurs, these kids, they want to start a different type of business, or they're a recording star also, or whatever other talent they have. The NCAA isn't going to stop you from doing that. So you can open up your own business. So it's a totally new era in college sports. It's basically a deregulation and a welcoming of some form of the free market into college sports.
So we know, because of what Sonny Vaccaro and Ed OBannon did, that was basically, the fight was, you don't own our name, likeness, image in perpetuity, right? So if there's
right.
a Oscar Robertson lithograph at Cincinnati, or frankly Ed OBannon is in a video game, you don't get to just sell that off for the rest of time and make money off of these athletes, even though they're not even at the school anymore. And that seemed logical to anybody that realized what was going on. Like, just throw these guys some money, which they did, in the end. But they stopped making the video games and whatever else. With this one, this is way different, because this is actually the current athletes. But just for point of reference, they even fought that. they fought that they should be able to own you forever. This with the current athletes, is this all because, in your opinion, because California said we are going to allow our athletes to profit off of their name, likeness, and image?
I think you make a couple points. I think that was the final. It's not a straw; it's a log that helped break the camel's back. It was a big deal, but I also think they, through the years, lost the public opinion on this, and part of it was because they never would adapt to anything. I think what you just brought up with Ed O'Bannon in that video game, classics of the NCAA basketball tournament, and they got the 1996 UCLA basketball team, and there's a guy that looks exactly like Ed O'Bannon playing small forward and shoots lefty, and he's wearing Ed O'Bannon's number. And they go, no, it's not Ed O'Bannon. And even if it is, we're allowed to do it. Okay, they were so headstrong on they wouldn't give an inch on anything.
Let me 20 seconds. That isn't Ed O'Bannon is the funniest, right? You know
That's what they did.
I know.
Like, well, how do you know? I mean, okay, who is it?
He's listed at 6'8". He's African American. He's wearing the number, and he's left-handed.
His head was shaved. It was like the same skin tone. He was a lefty. Like, come on. It's Ed O'Bannon.
What do you mean that's Ed O'Bannon?
What? I mean, what are you talking about? Like, it wasn't one of those, like, you know, the old video games where every guy looks the same, as
right.
Dot or whatever, you know. It's Ed O'Bannon. If it's in the game, it's in the game, and Ed O'Bannon was in the game.
Yeah.
I remember.
Sure enough.
So that's what got them in trouble, I think. And at the end of the day, no matter what business you run, you want to run your own business. You do not want the government running your business. Because even if it was well-intentioned, it's probably going to screw up your business. Nobody wants regulation in their business. The NCAA dragged their feet for so long. They could have made Ed O'Bannon go away, which I think was a big body blow for this thing. If they just said, yeah, you're right, we owe these guys some money. I mean, what the heck, what are we doing here? Or, you know, why is Cincinnati still profiting off of Oscar Robertson, 50 years later? I remember Desmond Howard having that. It was a famous picture of Desmond Howard at Michigan.
Yeah.
Where he poses for the Heisman in the end zone, and he's like, I can't even buy the picture or something. I mean, he wanted to buy the picture and then use it for himself, and he wasn't allowed. Like, it's a picture of me. There's so many ones like that. So now they eventually got thrown up against the wall because California, you make those arguments, and even the politicians are sitting there going, yeah, I mean, it was bipartisan. It was Republicans, Democrats, everybody, independents. They're like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And then they did it in Florida, and then all of a sudden every state was doing it. And it didn't matter. It wasn't a political cause. It was just like, this is common sense. That's where the NCAA lost this case. Now, I don't think this is bad for them. I think it's good for them.
Okay.
But
there are a bunch of
go
things
ahead.
that can come up, though, Dan, because I know they kept using this word guardrails, as you mentioned in your article. And, I think with you and I, it's like, okay, we're doing this because we have to. We're jumping into it and saying it's okay. And now we'll just kind of make up the rules as we go. And one of the fascinating things to me was there are some very legitimate questions about this, which are, like, and I brought up, UCLA signed that, like, bazillion-dollar deal with Under Armour, right? If the point guard from UCLA, who just so happens to have just decided to go to the G League and make $300,000 or more doing that, but let's just say he is that great of a player, everybody thinks he's going to be a pro, and Adidas wants to sign him to play in Adidas shoes his freshman year at UCLA. Like, you do have these massive conflict of interest, right? Who gets the money? Like, obviously, the schools are making the money from these big outlets because of who will be wearing them, right? Assuming they will get those players. But if some kid says, hey, I ain't sponsored by Under Armour, like the school is, but I'm not, like, I don't. That is something that's real, and obviously,
right?
Yeah.
Can you wear Under Armour shoes or Adidas shoes on a team where, like, who controls the shoe?
Right.
I don't know. They got to work that out.
Well, and the other thing is
They will have to wear a uniform that has an Under Armour logo, and the T-shirts are Under Armour, and all of those things.
And you do wonder, like, look, even we here at the show, you do deal with some conflict of interest things, right? If there are people that spend a lot of money to be sponsors of the show, then you can't, like, you're not going to go out and get their competitor, right? As a sponsor. And so if Tua, if whoever, Johnny Ringo Cadillac is the sponsor of Alabama football, but Tua goes and gets a deal with, Bud Cracker Cadillac, which could absolutely be a Cadillac dealership in Tuscaloosa. And he says, go get your Cadillac at Bud Cracker, and he's doing an autograph signing there, on Sunday after the game, after the big game. Like, you can't let that crap happen. So they do have to navigate some of that stuff, right?
That stuff happens, though. I mean, look, right now, if you watch an SEC football game, I think it's Nationwide that they have on the is a sponsor of the SEC, and they put, I think it's Nationwide, it might be State Farm, I don't know, but I think it's Nationwide, is in the, when they kick the field goal, the net, right? And I think Nationwide's the official sponsor of SEC football. What happens during the game is a commercial featuring Aflac and Nick Saban sitting there, not in Alabama gear. He's just there doing an Aflac
in a plain sweater. Right, he wears the plain sweater because he can't get. Now, if Aflac became the official, then you do that. You see it too in the NBA. Like, if you become an official sponsor of that's right
the NFL, you can get Tom Brady in a jersey. If you don't, he's just there working out in a T-shirt or whatever they got. Right.
What I wonder though is, let's just say me and you are running me and you, we're gonna revive Reebok, right? Me and you are gonna revive Reebok. It's a heritage brand. It's dormant for the most part, except for like CrossFit crap. But we're going to revive it. And we say, you know what? All these other businesses, they're spending a fortune with all these schools. Forget that. Let's just go get the players. Right?
That's what happened to the NBA, too.
I know. And I do.
Because, who are the official shoe sponsors of the Los Angeles Lakers? I don't know.
Right, none of those.
Don't care.
That's for sure. No.
Right?
Oh, no. I'm only saying, but that didn't take massive money out of the pockets of the Lakers. It would at these schools.
It would if it could, if they could control who wears their sneakers.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think that's got to be one of the guardrails. Like, if you come to our school, like we can't step on, like Zion Williamson can't wear Under Armour in our Nike uniforms at Duke. Like, this can't happen. And make $100 million. I guess he could.
But that might be okay. Then what the school that lets him do it gets Zion Williamson.
Yeah, no, I know, but what I'm saying is, if I'm Nike, I'd go to Duke and I'd be like, what the hell? Like, no. No.
Although it would be great if he blew out the Reebok.
Oh, I know, right? We spend an absolute fortune with you people. No.
They're going to spend less money. There's no question. You're going to spend less money.
Right. And
okay, so there will be less money for the college ed.
Oh, listen, you and I both know this is exactly what they all knew, which is why they fought it like hell forever.
Yes,
because the stars are the ones that are, there will be 100%. There will be basketball players in college that can make a fortune on this.
Absolutely. Zion Williamson, before he got to Duke, 1.7 million Instagram followers. And clearly was going to be a massive sneaker deal, okay?
Yes.
You have, these TikTok stars. This is high school girl on TikTok, got 50 million followers in 6 months.
Unbelievable.
Right?
And all she's doing, and she's just dancing.
And she's dancing for 11 seconds. Charlotte, she dances for 11 seconds, and she's making 50 million. I mean, so this is the world we live in. It's not 1975 anymore.
Right.
And the NCAA rules were from 1975. So you go, well, that can't happen. Well, who's this woman? Who's this girl? Right? It works. This is how it works. But here's my thing. What they're really worried about is this concept that Alabama Booster will just buy all the recruits. Oh, I'll just give you $100,000. You can be my official sponsor of my softball, my bar sponsor. My Eddie's Lawn Care.
No, what's our place down there? What's our wing place down there? Bomb Hours. The former Bob Baumhour, the former Alabama great.
Yep.
He's got those great wing spots. So or what's the barbecue place? Dreamland Barbecue.
Dreamland Barbecue.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing: those places are businesses. They don't necessarily have thousands, all this money to throw around to recruit. But here's my thing: I think it levels the playing field. There's a wing spot at every college. There's a Ford dealer in every town.
Right.
Right now, what are the chances of Memphis beating Alabama for a football recruit? Virtually none. Kid would have to be from Memphis pretty much and just say, I'm not leaving. But what if Memphis can sit there and say, oh, well, we got Rendezvous, and you're now the rib guy at Rendezvous, and we'll pay you, we can pay you more. And if you're the star at Memphis, and it's a lot easier to be the star at Memphis than at Alabama, you get the Rendezvous deal. But only Tua Tagovailoa is getting the Dreamland deal. And so all of a sudden, if you make money the factor, what is literally the first, when you're looking for a job, what's the first thing that would attract your eye?
I actually, we have not talked about this, and what you're bringing up is actually very brilliant, because we before you came on, we broached the subject. At the time, and the basketball team was, Memphis basketball was going on, the Grizzlies were already here. There is no question. D'Angelo Williams was the biggest athlete in this town. It wasn't even close. Yep. It wasn't even close. And the amount of money that D'Angelo. Oh my goodness! I mean, every business.
You'd be the biggest star.
Yes.
Would you rather be, if you're choosing a school, you're getting recruited by Alabama as quarterback. You're a quarterback, and you're getting recruited by Alabama. You're getting recruited by Memphis or Boise State. Let's go Memphis, right? Mm-hmm. Boy, I can go there and be fifth in the depth chart and have to fight for playing time. I mean, freaking Jalen Hurts got run out of there. Guy was a second-round pick. Or I can go to Memphis and be a 3-year starter. You're going to Memphis. That's where the money is. First thing you think about on a job, salary. Mm-hmm. Someone could pay you more. If not, everyone would just go to the biggest companies because they've seen the most. If everyone was paid exactly the same, entry level to exit, you just all go to the same place. But because salary, you sit there and say, wait, it's more lucrative for me. Memphis can never compete with Alabama because they aren't in the SEC, they aren't on TV all the time, and they can't get enough booster. They're so far decades behind in booster spending. I mean, Alabama spent $96 million renovating their already unbelievably incredible football stadium, right? Mm-hmm. What would the Liberty Bowl could use $96 million? Because they're not doing, part of it was we rearranged the flow of the Walk of Champions, right? Everything is spent on that. Now, that's how they show recruits. This is where football matters. Well, what really matters is I got a really good chance. I think Memphis would do great in this. And let's talk about football. In basketball, why would you go to almost any SEC school other than Kentucky?
Well,
and not Memphis basketball.
And you've got a place that it really, really matters. You got all manner of old money. And by the way, your coach already has a deal for his own shoe with one of the shoe companies.
Right.
That's actually a little bit promising, right? If you needed a tie-in.
This is a gold mine for Memphis sports. This is not, we're never going to compete now. Guess what? You don't compete now. No. I mean, you just don't. You don't really have a chance. But now you can. Now you can get better players. In basketball alone, all right, if you're sitting there, right now it's not unusual. SEC will beat, any conference for other conference in the South, right? So someone's going to sit there and say, I'm going to go play at Ole Miss basketball over Memphis basketball. And you go, why? Well, SEC. Okay, well, now money's on the line.
Yep.
And you go, no, I'm going to play in Memphis. I mean, it's a bigger deal. No one in Mississippi sponsors. No, there's not going to be any.
I love that you're zigging.
I paying a recruit for basketball.
Yeah, I love your you're zagging on this while everybody's zigging. The whole idea that it's only going to be the big schools that benefit, but I think you make a very persuasive argument that if you are now all of the sudden
you want to be the big fish in any size pond.
Well, and also how do I compete? I walk into that living room. I can't tell them they're going to be on CBS every Saturday because they're not,
right?
Or ESPN, and I can't tell them that they're going to have more national TV games or they're going to play against the best competition, like all the things they sell.
Or a 100,000-seat stadium.
But what I can say is Rendezvous needs a spokesperson, and the gig is $50,000. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't getting you ain't getting that. If you go there,
because you're our top priority. Like you said, D'Angelo is the biggest star. The quarterback at Boise State is the biggest sports celebrity in all of Idaho. The quarterback at Nebraska, they can't recruit to Nebraska anymore. So they can now.
Yeah. Well, they they might never be able to after that dreadful showing. Did you see that? After that poor Scott Frost. Were you watching this? He had to be watching the draft, just wanting to go jump on his roof and jump off the house. So they did this whole story about how Joe Burrow's dad was, played at Nebraska and all stuff. And he went to Nebraska, and Scott Frost's quote was, "Is he better than what we've got?"
Yeah.
It's like, and then the guy goes number 1 in the draft.
Yeah, that was a big. Okay, maybe Nebraska's cooked. I don't know, but how about this? Okay, so the same applies to Ole Miss or Miss State or Arkansas. Right now, to beat Alabama head up on a recruit, unless the kid's a local, there has to be a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Local. I mean, it's really hard. You're going to lose most of those recruiting losses. Well, look, Alabama may still sign the top first 10 picks. They're the first 10 guys they want. But that second 10, now you sit there and say, you're Ole Miss or you're Arkansas, which has tons of business interests. Say, hey, look, you're our priority. You're their 12th guy. You come with us, and you can be the star of. You want to be, you can be the star out here in Arkansas, or you can be the star at Ole Miss. We got chicken joints, we got car dealers, we got all that stuff too. We just don't have as much of it.
Well, and
what we don't have is the stadium. Boom! I think it spreads it out in the SEC as well.
Also,
outside of it, I could go all the way down to would you rather be the quarterback at North Dakota State in whatever that is, 1AA, in Fargo, North Dakota, or would you like to be another guy on Iowa State? I'd go to North Dakota. I just think this is going to be phenomenal for competitiveness.
And if you are, if little Johnny grows up to be a monster, pride of the town, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like these kids that grow up and they're the pride of the town, whatever, and he's got to go somewhere else. Like, he's been famous since he was, in high school, and he led the team to state championships, and he's a big deal, but he ain't really going to go to the local school because he needs to go to he needs to go to Notre Dame, he needs to go to Michigan, he needs to go wherever. Like Johnny might actually stay around now, because we know the way it is. This is as you know about Memphis, it's a big little city, right? Alex Lomax has been he's a pretty good point guard who just finished his sophomore year at the University of Memphis. Everybody loves him, but he's like, people love him. He's from Memphis, and we've known about Alex for the last 6 years. He's been a name in the town.
And all along, and then for the rest of his life, he'll make more money playing at Memphis than if he'd gone to be another kid at the University of Kentucky.
Well, how about this one? How about this? He was, where he was going before Penny got the job? He was going to Wichita.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like that.
Right, different name.
That kid would have
There's another program, though, that could do well, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, of course.
Wichita. You go in the whole city. Any of these little cities, the city schools, Memphis is like its own city-state, it's its own thing.
Yep.
And I just think it opens everything up because the money now goes directly. And so when you're looking at a job and someone offers you, 5% more, 10% more, and you go, let alone more than that, you're sitting there going, hey, I'm taking that job. Why'd you go work there and not here? Well, they're paying me $10,000 more a year. Okay, no question. No.
I'm with you, and this was necessary. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that come up with 100 million reasons why this isn't good, but let this thing play out, and I think it's going to be fun to watch, to say the least.
People who complain about things, and this is true in any life, and then all of a sudden they basically get what they want, instead of saying, this is great, this is huge progress, we'll take it, I'm going to move on to something else, they just keep finding new things to complain about.
Oh, hey, trust me. I come in here, I say every day, I say, look, this is what you have to remember, guys. If you hear something negative, you got to remember that there's 6,000 people that watched John Cena with a Make-A-Wish kid and pressed thumbs down on YouTube. Somebody watched that and like, I don't like this. I don't like this video of John Cena with his Make-A-Wish kid. There's enough miserable people out there.
Baby from fire.
Yes,
thumbs
right.
Down. Yeah.
Thumbs down.
I don't like this. I'm a dog guy. Cats suck. Yeah.
Dan, you're the
exactly.
best.
Someone's going to complain, so this is good. And I really think it's a new era of college sports. Well, man, I think it's great for Memphis.
It's going to be great. Dan Wetzel from Yahoo.com. Thank you, buddy. You're the best. Appreciate you.
Take care, man. Cheers.
There's Dan Wetzel. You can read his article. It's up on Yahoo about the NCAA deciding to allow college players to make money off their name, likeness, and image. And I do find it very fascinating, guys.